Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV. These are the patch notes for patch 6.57. So it's not a major patch, this is quite a minor patch that adds quite a lot to the game that's already pre-existing and changes it. So 6.57's main attraction is the weekly restrictions being removed for Pandemonium and Abyssios on Savage difficulty. This has been long awaited. There are some other additions as well. So firstly, we must say that 6.57 contains content that can be only accessed by registering the expansion packs for Final Fantasy XIV to your server's account. To distinguish between adjustments that are and are not affected by the registration of these expansions, the following notations will be used throughout the patch notes. They say, starting in 6.5, the Final Fantasy XIV Starter Edition will include the second expansion pack, Stormblood. Accordingly, access to Stormblood will automatically be granted to players who have already registered a Realm Reborn to their server's account. So there's an extra bit of annotations for that info. The playable content then, this will be quite interesting to a lot of people. So the rewards have been adjusted for certain MSQ quests. This is actually as direct response from the Naoki's Room interviews that Naoki Yoshida, the producer and director for the game, had at Tokyo Fan Fest with other creators in the industry, where they criticized the amount of Aetheryte tickets was given out. They said they wanted to adjust this. So the first of which is the Science of the Seventh Dawn. Previously you would get 12 of the Vesper Bay Aetheryte tickets. Now after this patch you get 40 of those. 40, yes, you didn't hear that wrong. Back from the Wood quest used to give 10, it now gives 33. The Black Wolf's Ultimatum instead of 8 now gives 26. So those 3 quests alone are giving more Aetheryte tickets than a lot of people will probably know what to do with, which is probably a good thing. It's always nice to have more than you need, although my criticism is a lot of people I talk to that are new players completely don't know what they are in their inventory and leave them exactly where they are. So there is that. Miscellaneous then, it says when certain visions are in progress on Island Sanctuary, players will now be able to speak with the Felicitous Furball NPC to receive hints about how they may be realized. So previously a lot of people tabbed out of the game to look at what they needed to do next. A lot of the stuff is fairly self-explanatory within Island Sanctuary, but some people were obviously having issues. And of course, this keeps more people in the game because if the NPC is going to tell them what to do or give hints, then that's better, isn't it, in the long run? The number of Allegan Tomestones of Comedy offered for completing one line of Chloe's Wondrous Tales has been increased from 50 to 300. Quite a considerable increase that's to be expected with the other changes that we'll talk about in a moment to comedy. So first of all, the adjustments to Abyssios Savage include treasure coffers will now always appear with no reduction of rewards, regardless of whether any party members have previously cleared the circle. The weekly restriction on rewards obtained from treasure coffers has been removed. Weekly entrance restrictions has also been removed, and players may now proceed directly to any circle in any order. So if you want to go straight to 12, you totally can. Players also get the power of the Echo. This includes the 10% healing potency, damage dealt and maximum HP. This is a flat 10% and does not increase with the death of players when they're incapacitated. This is just a flat 10% Echo gain to Pandemonium and Abyssios Savage, which is, long overdue in my opinion, but there we go. Thalia has been added to the duty roulette of alliance rates, which is nice to see, and the weekly limit for Allegan Tomestones of Comedy has been increased from 450 to 900. The maximum store of 2,000 tomestones has not been changed, however, so if you were hoping that they were going to make any meaningful decisions to unlock those completely towards the end of an expansion, that unfortunately has not happened. My criticism is, why is there a cap in the first place, like a hard cap? But there we go. But your weekly limit is now 900. I would have liked to have seen that no longer a weekly limit, but there we go. 900 is certainly better than 450, especially for gearing alts, right? The following adjustments have been made to the Fields of Glory Shatter in PvP. The amount of data required to win has been decreased from 2,000 to 1,600. That's interesting. And the amount of data gained from defeating a member of the opposing team has been increased from 5 to 8. Of course, PvP, especially Fields of Glory. Honestly, I think a big overhaul is on the horizon for PvP in Dawntrail. We'll have to wait and see what they do in regards to that. But I suppose there's going to be lots of little fixes before they're ready to announce anything in that regard. So system changes then. The additional instances implemented to prevent congestion in Old Sharlayan, Razathan and Favnir have finally been removed. That's to be expected. And then we've got the big open beta for the Xbox Series X and S version beginning. The open beta will begin on Wednesday, the 21st of February at 8 AM or 1900 AEDT. You can click a hyperlink to read on how to participate, but essentially there is a launcher. The Xbox Series X and S version utilizes a single sign-on or SSO authentication. Once Square Enix accounts and Xbox and Microsoft accounts are linked, players can skip the login process and launch the game directly. That's cool. Additionally, the Xbox Series X and S version, wow, that's a tongue twister, version launcher will display the player's Xbox gamer tag. Interesting. Okay. Resolution. Xbox Series X supports the following options: 4K, 1440p and Full HD 1080p. The default setting is WQHD, which is 1440. And the Xbox Series S supports two resolutions, 1440 and 1080p. Interesting. Okay. With the default being 1080p. Mouse and keyboard controls. Like other platforms, the Xbox Series X and S players now have the option to use a mouse and keyboard control. So a lot of you who are saying, I wonder if it's going to allow me to plug in a keyboard and mouse, much like the PlayStation version, you can actually, if it's a USB, you can plug it straight in and it will work. There are some caveats to that. Some manufacturers might make something a bit too fancy, but it might not be picked up, but a general keyboard and mouse will definitely work. I do that all the time in my bedroom for the for PlayStation that we have in there, so it seems to be the same for Xbox, and I don't see why it would be any different. 14 has amazing support for any way you want to play it. So it says your Xbox gamertag and icon. The player's Xbox gamertag and icon will be displayed to fellow Xbox Series X and S players on the following UI windows. This includes your character window, your examine window, deep dungeon window, Dome and Mahjong opponent list, triple triad tournament opponent list. And your icon appears on your friends list for online players only and your contact list. So it doesn't say anything about other people seeing that you're on an Xbox from a PC or vice versa. It seems to only be for fellow Xbox players. Okay, that's interesting. It says recent players, when joining a party with members also playing on the Xbox Series X and S version, said members will be displayed under the recently played with section of the Xbox Series X and S friend list. Interesting. Achievements. The Xbox Series X and X version features Xbox achievements that will be unlocked when their conditions are met. Additional achievements will be added in future patches, so much like the PlayStation then. And there we go. That's the major meat and potatoes. Basically, the date for the open beta for the Xbox, and also some further details. It's nice to see the mouse and keyboard controls confirmed, though. We kind of knew that was going to happen, but at least we got confirmation. So, resolved issues. The following issues have been addressed. Apparently, there was an issue during a cutscene of the MSQ quest Stars in the Dark, wherein Temulin's animation did not display correctly. That's been fixed. There was an issue regarding Moogle Treasure Trove for the first hunt for Genesis, where the Borderlands Ruin Secure was erroneously listed in the Mogpendium. I didn't even realize that. An issue existed wherein the Japanese kanji conversion stops working during text input after disabling live conversion for the Mac version. No idea. And there were other minor text issues. So they've fixed quite a lot. Some of the things they haven't documented, but they've done quite a lot of fixes, I would imagine. Current known issues. Recently, there is an issue wherein certain graphics do not display correctly. This appears to be only on the Xbox Series X and S version, so of course, this is all being tested for that very reason. There's also an issue wherein the player's chat mode toggle keybind stops working after the first use. This is on the Xbox version. More Xbox version updates. An issue wherein the sound of footsteps does not play correctly under certain circumstances while in the listening position. While the listening position slider is set towards character. That's also Xbox Series X and S. There's an issue wherein a keyboard enter key does not function correctly within the launcher. Again, on the Xbox version, it says, should you encounter this issue, a mouse or controller may be used instead. And there's also another issue wherein the controller's directional pad and all the keyboard arrows do not function correctly with the launcher. Again, Xbox Series X and S. So you can expect a lot of those issues to crop up, especially since there's, it's a testing period that's going to be opening up. So when you do eventually get on that open beta, if you are taking part in it, there's a good likelihood that there'll be a few issues that they've listed there that will still be persisting. But that's why you're going to be testing it. The open beta, unfortunately, as was mentioned previously, is only open to new players to the game and not pre-existing. I was tempted to pick up an Xbox and try it myself, but considering I'd have to make a new account, I'm not that bothered personally. But hopefully plenty of people do test it. But yeah, all in all, it's a very mundane sort of patch, very small on content, but full on things that people wanted. It's a shame that the tombstone cap, hard cap, is still there. We're not expecting that to change anytime soon, but it would be nice if they fixed that for Dawn Trail. It makes things, especially at the end of an expansion, a lot easier for alt jobs and things like that. But yeah, hopefully that's realized in the future. But yeah, the Vesper Bay Aetheryte ticket thing, really cool. But yeah, that's the notes for patch 6.57, and that's pretty much everything. Much love. I'll keep you up to date with any information and news or any announcements that come along, and obviously my usual content as well. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.